Oh wait, where is it? Oh, it's over there!
When doing business in foreign countries such as Mexico, you must learn how to properly conduct yourself. You must know 3 things when it comes to a greeting. Number 1, you will find that first names are rarely used. They are reserved for family and close friends. You usually have to wait to be invited to address someone by his or her first name. Professional titles such as manager or director should be used as this recognizes their status. Those without titles should be addressed with Mr., Senor, Mrs., Senora, or Miss, Senorita, followed by their surname.
Hola, mi amigo. I'm Senor Pablo Sanchez.
My name is Daniel Beth.
Step 2. When meeting a Mexican man, you can either shake their hand or give a slight bow when introduced. Step 3. When meeting a Mexican woman, the greeting is a little bit different. Bow when you meet her, and shake hands only if she extends her hand first. Overall, it is important to be aware of how to properly greet a Mexican business person because it may be seen as disrespectful and impolite if you don't do it the right way. Greetings are the first impression your counterpart will have on you. The way you greet determines whether the meeting will go well or not.
When dining in a Mexican household, always keep both hands above the table, and it is imperative you do not leave the table immediately after you are finished eating. Don't show up on time for a social engagement. You will be the only one who does, and will most likely be waiting for a very long time, possibly hours. Business people are often invited to visit the home of their Mexican counterparts. On your first visit to a Mexican home, it is best to wear business attire unless you are specifically told otherwise. While gift giving is not always a necessity when doing business in Mexico, gifts are much appreciated. Suggested initial gifts include non-personal items with your corporate logo. Flowers should always be given when visiting a Mexican home. It's okay to have them sent beforehand or to bring them with you. Having prior knowledge to countries considering dining, basic manners, and smaller things such as gift giving is greatly important in conducting business because people would rather likely deal with someone who gives them respect rather than someone who is rude to them. Mexico especially is a very community-based, family-first society, which is the building of personal relationships before the building of professional ones. By being respectful rather than rude will greatly affect your business plans in a positive way. Mexicans often hold a gesture, handshake, squeeze of the arm, a hug, longer than Americans and Canadians do. Mexicans generally stand closer together when conversing. Don't show signs of discomfort, which could be considered rude by your Mexican counterpart. Standing with your hands in your pocket is viewed as ill-mannered, and putting your hands on your hips is confrontational. Using the A-OK sign formed by joining the thumb and index finger is also likely to get you in a lot of trouble. In Mexico, this is an incredibly rude sign. Looking straight in the eye can be considered aggressive, especially among men, or flirtatious between men and women. You look at the person near the eye, but not in the eye. Sometimes, Mexicans may even respond to the direct eye contact by looking even further from the eye. It is theorized that 70% of human communication is nonverbal, whether it be eye contact or a handshake. Knowing what's considered appropriate to what's inappropriate can determine whether someone would want to do business with you or not.
When doing business in Mexico, would this be considered proper business attire?
No.
For business meetings, men should wear a conservative dark suit and tie with a light blue or white shirt. For women, they can choose between a dress, skirt, and blouse or a tailored suit. The way one prepares for a meeting says a lot about a person. It is important for both genders to know what to wear for a meeting in Mexico, as it will portray them as professional, polished, and well-informed on their culture. The way one dresses is very vital as it is the first impression your counterpart will have.
Mexico is a very class-conscious society where social stratification are well defined. Mexico has been a male-dominant society for a very long time, and the spirit of machismo is still very strong in many parts of the country. The situation on gender inequality is still improving. More females are now enrolling in university courses, though the difference in rate between females and males is still pronounced. To be successful, it is important to know that when doing business in Mexico, the business person who has a higher position, either man or woman, will be doing the business. Since it is still more dominated male culture in Mexico, it is more than likely to conduct business with men rather than women. Machismo shapes the Mexican culture. By understanding the roles, it will lead to a better understanding between the two parties in the personal and business relationship.
Time perception is polychronic. Punctuality is expected of foreign business people, although your Mexican counterpart may be late or keep you waiting. It is important to schedule business appointments in advance and confirm them once you have arrived in Mexico.
Spatial perception is important to know to learn what is considered rude and what can discourage personal relationship. Being uncomfortable and withdraw touch, it discourages personal relationship as it is unfriendly. Without a strong personal relationship, they will not be able to have a strong business relationship. Personal relationship is key. By understanding time, it will lead to a better understanding of Mexicans, which is key to a relationship. Once they obtain the personal relationship, they are able to have a successful business relationship.
Values and ethics are important at the workplace to help keep order and ensure that the company runs smoothly and the business remains profitable. Now, for a business to be successful in Mexico, it is important to consider a few things. First one is PDI. This is the Power Distance Index. It deals with the fact that not all individuals and societies are equal. It also expresses the attitudes of these citizens towards these inequalities. At the score of 81, Mexico is hierarchical. This means that people accept the arrangement in order of rank, status, and authority. So they really respect people with higher statuses and managerial positions. UAI is the Uncertainty Avoidance Index, and it is the way that society deals with the fact that the future is unknown. Hofstede found that Mexico is one of the highest scorers on the UAI level, scoring an 82. This indicates that the general population has a high preference in avoiding uncertainty. So they are very risk averse and not into new ideas and concepts, instead just preferring a variety of opinions. MAS is a masculinity versus femininity. Hofstede has measured Mexico to be having a very masculine society, so the general population has more rigid gender roles. It also indicates that the society is driven by competition, achievement, and success. People live in order to work. Managers are expected to be decisive, and often conflicts are resolved by fighting them out. IDV, this is individualism versus collectivism. Mexico scores a low 32 on individualism. This shows that Mexico is a collectivist society. Here, loyalty is paramount. The society encourages strong relationships and where everyone takes the responsibility for fellow members of their group. Employees and employers' relationships are perceived in moral terms, like a family. Knowing about the power distance, uncertainty avoidance, the masculinity, and the collectivist society of Mexico will greatly increase one's chance of success in conducting business over there. Firstly, Mexicans put authority in high regard, so we can easily understand how things work over there. Since it's a masculine society, they have strong goals, and since it's a masculine society, the business can ensure that they spend time wisely as time is money over there, and ensure that they have strong goals and good decision-making skills. Because of the high uncertainty avoidance, it will be hard to introduce new concepts and ideas. Presentations and proposals will be examined in fine detail. So thorough preparation to introduce new topics will be needed. Also, Mexicans are highly averse towards risk, even calculated ones. So avoiding uncertainty in their plans, the business will be more successful in making deals with Mexican companies. Lastly, since Mexico is a collectivist society, businesses must ensure that all goals are focused towards a greater good and avoid individualistic goals and rewards. It will be hard to form a business relationship and will take lots of time to form and strengthen, but it is worth it because Mexicans are very loyal, and the bond of employer and employee relationship will be strong as they are considered as one big family. Wages and standards of practice in Mexico. The minimum wage of Mexico is 70.10 pesos, which is $4.19 US. So knowing this, the business must adhere to it and pay its workers at least that. The wages may seem low compared to Canada, but it is a standard wage over there, which means that it's the price for one meal. The standard lunch break in Mexico is a usual 2-hour affair, taking place from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Many workers take this break for a short nap or for a siesta. This may be seen as a waste of time for businesses outside of Mexico, but it's important not to disregard this break, as if a foreign manager were to change it, it will be seen as an attempt to impose foreign values on local culture, and the manager would face severe labor problems. Regarding healthcare, all Mexican citizens are eligible for subsidized healthcare regardless of their work status.